Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, back with you with another new chapter of the heroic Gremory. And again, thanks for a lot for the support, guys. I really do appreciate it. I know this series may not be as popular as my DxD Academia story, which I'm 100% aware, but even so, I just want to do this because it's kind of fun, to be honest. So, yeah. Anyway, let's go through that of a quick recap. We go through that of Izuku being trained and taught by that of Izuku in the ways of using his clan trait, the power of manifest, where Izuku has learned that of new forms of how to manipulate his magic to create that of armor, weapons, and other abilities as well. However, during their training session, while Izuku was, doing his devil work, Izuku noticed that he got a message from one of the branch houses of the Nibirius family. Curious about it, and finding out that it was about trying to create that of super devils, but using that of Nekushou, Izuku kind of realized that maybe he was experimenting on them to create that of a super devil. With hearing this idea from his apprentice, Izuku basically decided to check in on this with the help of Surzetches. Also, during this time, he goes on that of a gala meeting with that of other devils of the 72 pillars, where Izuku meets with that of his childhood friend Sona and other close young devils as well, such as their cousin Saror Beal and a girl by the name of Sikra Agars. But it also seems that he has that of a horrible relationship with that of another devil boy by the name of Riser Phoenix, though. But instead of calling him by his name, he calls him Deku as an insult of making fun of him and his name. Also meeting that of two Nekushou sisters, a white-haired Nekushou by the name of Shiron, and a black-haired one, who is Kuroka, who was being experimented on to be turned into a super devil. And not only that, thanks Izuku for saving her, even if he didn't realize he did. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Chapter 3, My Pieces. 3 years have now passed since Izuku met that of Shiron and Kuroka, and being trained by Izuku, actually. Since then, he's basically stopped being trained by Izuku, to be honest, and is doing his own thing, such as, training himself, improving in combat, both physically and that of magically as well. As the current Izuku Midoriya, still having that of a freckles and big bright eyes and green eyes as always. However, his body, on the other hand, you would think a 13-year-old would be at least that of 5'5", or possibly that of maybe 5'6", 5'7" at the tallest. Nope, Izuku is actually 5'9", come almost to the same height as that of a average Japanese man, actually, and pretty damn buff at that. Not too buff, but at least buff enough to show that he works out quite a bit. As he's currently wearing that of a hoodie with that of saying hoodie sweatshirt on it, and also that of black, and also that of and blue jeans as well, with red sneaker boots. As he's currently looking at a book while in his bedroom. As currently his bedroom is basically filled with that of hero merchandise from all across the world, of superheroes from the West, such as comic books, and that of Japan, instead of your usual manga and anime and all that. Instead, it's that of Super Sentai or Tatsubatsu series, such as the Kamen Riders. Even since then, Izuku never grew out of the fascination of wanting to be a hero and protect the innocent after all. And it kind of bled through that of his actions as that of a growing up, to be fair. With Izuku still looking through that of his book, which you would think it would be that of a manga or a comic book, but no, it's actually a special myth and legends book. A book basically categorizing all of the lores and herbs of legendary medicines all across the world in fictions or in that of other pantheons. Izuku is looking through this for specific reasons after all. Within, looking at a specific one, saying, this could work. Adding the materials that I've already listed down, this could definitely work. With then closing the book, as soon entering in his room, being Kuroka, as currently, instead of wearing the kimono, somewhat covered kimono that they wore when they first met. After all these years, she started wearing kimonos that are a lot more revealing and a lot more loose, showing more of her fully developed body, with her breasts, hips, and ass quite pronounced now, turning her into that of a true Japanese beauty of the yokai. With him saying, "My Lord Izuku, it's time." Saying, "Already? Makes sense. Well, I guess it can't be helped. I did decide this for myself." With closing, as then putting the book over to that of his bookshelf. Within grabbing that of a large bag and that of a duffel bag as well. Within saying, "Everything else packed?" With her saying, "Yes. Naya and I have already gotten everything ready. And there's no need to feel like we need to, wait, in case that we do need to rough it, of course." Within, he's saying, of course. And I'm prepared for that. So, let's go. With that, Izuku walks away and wondering on how much has changed since Izuku. About that of 2 years ago, when Izuku was 11 years old. While Izuku was at Ajuka's lab, he began training himself in that of creating his own spell circles. And he didn't just want to be drawn using that of the Gremory spell circles after all. He wanted to use his own special type of spell circles that will allow him to use the power of manifest a lot more fluently. Not only that, thanks to that of the notes using from that of Lord Ajuka based on his Kankura formula, he was able to figure out that his Kankura formula, his special form of magic that he created himself, not just uses that of, devil magic, but it also uses that of human magic as well, which human magic spells are formed by using that of algebra, actually. The formula is basically made to create that of magic is due to using that of formulas created from math problems. Izuku, figuring this out too, decided to use that of math as well. But he didn't just want to use math. He's also decided to take up that of other forms of magic too to try to create his own spell circle, such as a book that he found, being a book on that of rune crafting from the Norse, hoping that this book could help him out improve his magic craft and abilities tenfold. But then saying, "All right, this should do it." With then soon Kuroka and Naya basically keeping an eye on Izuku. Within, Kuroka came up and say, "Should we continue letting this go on, Naya-san?" Within, Naya saying, "No worries, Kuroka-chan. Knowing the young master Izuku, he knows what he's doing. I mean, he's figured out how to use his clan trait without any form of help before Lord Ajuka helped him out. And he's able to use any form of magic too, with no help too. If he's able to create his own spell circle, I'm sure that within soon, as the spell circle appears, however, instead of the Gremory spell circle, it's completely different. This spell circle doesn't show the crest of the Gremory. Instead, it shows a completely different crest. this one actually looks like that of a bunny with that of a, well, smile, with that of a pretty menacing smile on it, and pitch black eyes with that of a green iris in it. As this is Izuku's special spell circle, to be fair, as it's all green instead of red. Within, it engulfs Izuku as he cannot but smile, saying, "I did it!" Before he could finish, he disappears. Then soon, Namaya and Kuroka, seeing what just happened, as the, well, Minotaur swordsman and the young Nekushou couldn't help but scream out, "Master Izuku!" Then Izuku, wondering where Izuku went, he's currently, and that's of a certain land, a certain hall that many people who are known to, that many Vikings would love to go all their entire life. Within, seeing that of an elderly man with that of a beard that goes all the way down to that of his gut, as he has that of a monocle eye patch, while also looking like that of a man who has no fucks to give. Within, Izuku actually looking quite scared, embarrassed, and also wondering if he's going to die. However, at the same time this happens, multiple women in that of armor plates, and also having that of multiple colored hairs with that of spears, swords, axes, halberds, and many other weapons that are basically dangerously sharp, pointed straight at Izuku. Then Izuku pretty much worried, wondering if he's going to die right now. But then soon, the elderly man on the throne spoke up saying, "You, boy, how did you show up here? What is the meaning of this?" Within, Izuku saying, "Speak, devil. If you give me an answer I like, then I may hear you out. If you give me an answer I don't, you die on the spot. Now speak." Within, soon Izuku saying, "My name is Izuku Gremory. I'm the second son of the Gremory family, and I was working on a spell circle to improve and to have that of create my own form of magic, actually. And I didn't think that it would be focused on that of teleportation magic, to be fair. I am truly sorry. I didn't mean to appear in your domain unannounced and and trespassing as well. Please let me to apologize." Within, soon, the man couldn't help but have his eyebrows raised up, saying, "You're telling me that you created your own spell circles so you can create your own form of magic and it teleported you to that of Asgard?" Within, soon hearing that, saying, "Asgard? You mean the lands of the Norse gods and the homeland of the Norse pantheon, the center of the world tree?" Then soon saying, "You know quite a bit of yourself, boy." Saying, "I try to keep my knowledge, showing a form of respect, knowing the gods, the pantheons and gods I may run into. I'm so sorry." Within, soon, the older man saying, "Now this is quite a bit of respect. Now normally most pantheons only respect us through that of my good for nothing son Thor. And now finding out that somebody actually wanted to know about our entire pantheon history and basically our mythos alone out of respect, and you're a devil to boot? Now this is something. I must say, you're really something else, Gremory, was it? It's a pleasure to meet you." Then saying, "My name is Odin's son, king of the Norse gods and of Asgard as well. Right? All you girls, can you remove your blades from the poor lad? You're scaring him, and it's starting to annoy me." Then soon all of the women, but then Izuku saying, "Are they Valkyries?" Saying, "Yep. Amazing fighters and quite fine pieces of ass, as I do say so." Within, many of the Valkyries begin to blush, while some in that of embarrassment, some in that of, in that of lust, while some basically take it as that of a compliment, hearing it from that out of their ruler after all. Within, soon, Izuku saying, Lord Odin saying, please, my boy, just call me Odin. To think, Sir Zuch's little brother would basically find a way through our defenses. And how did you create your spell circle? Within, show it to me. With soon, Izuku showing that of the spell circle that he just created a little while ago. Within, seeing the spell circle and all of the crafting into it. Within saying, besides a bit of devil magicry, there's also human formula magic too. And within, soon noticing, you added Norse runes as well. No wonder you were able to pass through the wards. I'm quite impressed. And normally, I'm surprised that the devils even had a book on that of the Norse, to be honest. Well, my teacher, Lord Ajuka Beelzebub, had the book saying, that brat Beelzebub? I knew that. I only gave him that book as a sign of basically, don't fuck with me and I don't fuck with you. Now and instead of using it, his disciple uses it? If anything, I'm more surprised that the damn brat actually has a disciple, given that he seems like the antisocial type. With then saying, oh, you have no idea, he pretty much is. With then saying, well then, Izuku Gremory, well, before we could send you home, you interest me quite a bit. I may be a god of war and a god of battle and betrayal, but I'm also a man of knowledge and a bit of a connoisseur of ladies as well. But mainly, I want to know on how a young boy like you grew to have this much potential and ability. Show me on why you basically wanted to create your own spell circle. And if you give me an answer I like, I'll allow you one favor from me. Within, Izuku saying, okay. I created my own spell circle and my own form of magic to improve my own clan trait of magic, while also trying to grow myself to become stronger too. Since I wasn't born with the power of destruction like my big brother and sister, I want to grow stronger in my own way to improve in other aspects of magic and magic power. With Vince hearing all that, Odin couldn't help but smirk, saying, well, aren't you something? Normally, devils are so damn complacent with the power that they're already born with and have. But hearing that a boy such as you are trying to grow, a young lad trying to become something more, you got my attention. Quite my attention. And I thought those Satans were the only ones that actually trained themselves to become the monsters that they are now. Alright, I liked your answer. So, for that, I grant you one favor from me, the king of the Norse gods. So, what will you like, my boy? Within, Izuku saying, really? As Izuku basically wanted to ask to, go through that of the Norse library to improve himself, to basically improve his magical potential and abilities, but then he began to realize that would basically help him improve, but then he thinks that the devil race has always been considered, hated to the supernatural. At first, he's always heard that they have great pride and they're the greatest in the world, but over the years, when he goes to Devil Society balls and meetings, he always hears facts that many devils either are basically denied certain things that they want, given certain members of their peerages, and many other things that they want, which causes trouble across the supernatural in the world. Hell, he even finds out that some people even force them to join their peerages, which shows that the devil race don't really have that of a good impact in the world, basically proving the things that the church and many other people see them as, abominations and monsters. However, Izuku wants to change that. Is seeing the hard work that his brother, his master, and the other Satans have trying to do to help improve the relationships with other pantheons, he couldn't help but want to do his own part as well, as saying, I want an alliance between the Norse pantheon and the devil race. Within hearing this, many of the Valkyries couldn't help but be completely caught off guard and shocked, with even Odin completely shocked as well, as he expected the boy to basically want to possibly go to their library or maybe to one of the realms to see their forging of weapons and possibly even learn new forms of magic or train under that of maybe his good-for-nothing son. But instead, the boy asked for something more selfless, to help his people by forging an alliance with him and his faction, his pantheon, as Odin couldn't help but be shocked, surprised, and actually quite impressed, saying, you know, I figured you devils would go for the more selfish route, especially even for somebody as supposedly selfless like you. I thought you would basically want to just help yourself improve, but instead, you wish to forge an alliance between that of the devils of the biblical faction and the Norse gods. Can I ask why? Military reasons? Defend yourselves from that of the angels of heaven and the fallen angels of Gremory? But then Izuku saying, well, that, but mainly, I want to help. I want the Norse pantheon and devil factions to trade resources and everything else like that. I've seen that the underworld has quite a bit of resources, not a lot that many people outside the supernatural have, unless that you're with the Gremory though. I hear they try to make alliances. Well, I won't lie. Gremory, the Norse and Gremory are basically allied together, but mainly out of more of a conversational partners, not in military wise. So you're not trying to seek us for that of military to protect the devils, but in that of commerce, such as trading that of items and that of certain other things created by the devils and us, the Norse. Within Izuku nodding, within saying, well, color me surprised. I guess this old man and me can actually be quite caught off guard. Once again, well then, lad, I'll offer it. Just need to make a few calls. After that, I'll send you back home. But as a reward for basically impressing me more times than I can count, while you're waiting to get sent back home, I'll give you a little item as that of a token of my gratitude for turning a boring day like this into something a lot more better. With then soon, Izuku couldn't help but smile, saying, well, you don't need to, saying, I insist, lad. I insist. With then soon, looking at one of the Valkyries saying, you, go and grab the gauntlets. Thor ain't using them anymore since he doesn't need them, so bring them to me. If the boy basically complains, tell him I gave them to somebody that will put better use to them. With then soon, the Valkyrie basically getting nervous, but listening to her order saying, yes, your majesty. With that, she soon flies off. With then, soon Odin begins to create that of a spell circle, with raising his hand as it soon becomes under that of Izuku, saying, don't worry, it won't teleport you soon before she shows up. So you have plenty of time. So I got plenty of time. But until then, but as for that favor, don't worry, I won't go back on my word. I'll need to make that of a contact with that of your Satan Leviathan. Seeing that cutie again is gonna be pretty fun, I won't lie. But I also should probably speak to that red-haired child, Serzech's too. But then Izuku saying, hey, that's my big brother you're talking about. With then, soon the Valkyrie saying, insolent, saying, nah, it's fine. He's only defending his brother. Any younger sibling should do the same as well, or any sibling at all should do the same. After saying that, Odin gives that of a pretty, calm and cooling smile to Izuku. But Izuku couldn't help but smile back at the man that almost looks like that of a grandfather to Izuku. the Valkyrie saying, I have brought them, my lord. Within, soon, Izuku seeing that of two black gauntlets, pretty well developed and well reinforced iron gauntlets with multiple rune sigils basically grafted onto it. Within saying, there we go. With soon saying, this is the Yarngand, otherwise known as the Iron Gauntlets of the Gods. Originally, my old son basically wore these gauntlets with that of Meganjord, the Belt of Strength, to allow him to lift that of Mjolnir, his iconic hammer. But the brat basically made sure to grow stronger and stronger day by day, and because of that, the brat has now become that of one of the top 10 strongest beings in this world that we live in. So, and now because of that, he doesn't need these gauntlets anymore. So, I'm giving them to you. No need to basically let them just all set out and everything like that. Within, Izuku saying, are you sure? But they're prize, and they belong to your son, saying, like I said, he doesn't use them anymore. And better for a young lad like you to use them in your future endeavors. And take it as a trophy, as a sign of our new alliance with that of the devil faction. With that, Izuku takes the massive gauntlet, saying, don't worry, you'll grow into them, and they'll basically grow on you, too. Besides, I hear that there are some ladies that like a man with big hands, especially since you'll be able to grope a lot of ladies' chests. With then Izuku saying, I'm not like that, sir. With then saying, really? I thought even for sure devil children have that of a high libido as well. You really are a strange one, young Gremory. Well then, I'll see you around. With, make sure to tell your master about this little deal of ours too, to just confirm it when I basically speak to Lady Leviathan after all. Let's catch you later, Midoriya. Don't be afraid don't be a stranger around here. Come by anytime. If you got any more knowledge that you'd like to tell to me. Within, soon, Odin basically fully activates the spell circle, sending Izuku away. Within, soon, Izuku is back at the spells at that of Ajuka's lab. Within, Ajuka also there, alongside that of Namaya and also Kiroka, as both ladies basically look frantic, as Ajuka also looks somewhat panicked as well, even though his face basically doesn't show it. Within, soon seeing the spell circle, as Ajuka was about to creates that of a spell circle of his own, however, it being a spell circle for his Kenkira formula. Within, soon, Izuku appears, with the gauntlets in his hand, saying, hi, I'm back. Within, soon, both Namaya and Kiroka basically tackle Izuku to the ground, worried about him, with Kiroka saying, oh, Master Izuku, I was so worried. Within, saying, yeah, young master, I'm so glad that you're safe. I don't know what I would do if I told Lady Vanillana that her beloved son basically went missing. Within, soon, Ajuka couldn't help but sigh, saying, you are one troublesome kid. You know that, Izuku? Within, Izuku saying, sorry, master. Within, saying, about that. Also, Odin likes to say hi, and also for you to tell Lady Seraphal that he'll be making a call to you. Within, soon, Ajuka basically blinking multiple times, saying, what now? After that, a few months have now gone by since the certain alliance between the Norse and the devil faction of the Bible, as a few supernatural pantheons were a little worried, while some basically not really too caring much about it. The Gremory, that was also in that of a alliance with the Norse, you would think that they would basically fight back or basically retort or complain. Unfortunately, Gremory was completely and utterly silent the entire time. But thanks to this treaty and alliance, both faction, the devils now have that of have that of new products that the devils can buy from that of the Norse, and can also enter that of Norse territory too. However, if they cause any trouble or basically force anybody into their peerages, then they'll basically be punished. Won't be killed, but possibly humiliated, beaten, and basically banned from entering that of Asgard or any of the other 9 realms of Yggdrasil. Well, except Earth being Midgard after all, but And because of this, it's all thanks to Izuku, however, basically puts quite a bit of huge amount of on his head. However, only for a select few of devils though. A couple years have now gone by, with now the Gremory have grown quite a bit, with that of a new servant actually. That being a Japanese girl by the name of Akeno Himejima. Turns out she basically made that of a summoning pact with the Gremory family. The reason being to defend herself from her, family that was basically hunting down to try to kill her. Mainly because of her half-fallen angel, heritage, which also led to her mother dying trying to protect her. Because of this, Akeno basically became scarred and also despised her fallen angel heritage alongside her father and many other fallen angels as a whole. However, thanks to Rias, Chiron, and even Kuroka, she was able to at least, be able to, tolerate herself at least. However, deep down, she still hates herself, which Izuku actually notices, as he wants to comfort her and basically wants her to not basically despise herself. But given the scars that she's gone through, Izuku knows that he isn't able to save everybody as much as he wants to. But over the time, Akeno has basically became a member of the Gremory family, a servant on paper and in title, but in a way, she's basically like a secondary daughter to that of, Vanillena and Zeoticus after all, and another sister to Izuku, as from time to time, she always tries to tease Izuku after all, which gets really on Izuku's nerves because he always does end up going red like crazy, as he's not really used to being, fraternized by girls all the time. He's always just called cute all the time and basically called adorable, but never really, flirted with directly. So let's just say every time that she does flirt with him, it catches him off guard. And because of this, Kuroka also wanting to flirt with Izuku, basically making it a game between that of her and Akeno, who would make Izuku more flustered. However, even though these were the good times, there also been bad times. As for another devil gathering ball, where the high society basically come together and basically gossip as well and brag about their peerages, their old glory, and everything else like that. Turns out there was that of an announcement for that of an alliance between that of an arranged marriage. Normally, arranged marriages are basically all of the same. They're basically a part of devil society. You can't go around anywhere without somebody announcing at least that of 1 or 2 arranged marriages between that of pillar families. However, this arranged marriage basically left both Izuku and Rias jaw-dropless, with then Zeoticus saying, "I would like to announce, alongside that of me and Lady Phoenix, that my daughter, my eldest daughter, Rias Gremory, will be marrying the 3rd son of the Phoenix family, Riser Phoenix, as uniting both the Gremory and Phoenix family together." Within hearing this, many people began to clap, and also in that of bringing that of joy, with even many people bringing up the fact that a Gremory and also Phoenix basically creating that of a child possibly with the power of destruction, power of manifest, and the Phoenix regeneration, they would be an absolute monster and and possibly a future most powerful young offspring of the devil faction. However, on the other, with Riser actually quite smug and happy, as since he's now that of, 15, he's basically shown off that of his peerage, as he only has that of one queen after all, and is still filling out his peerage, to be honest. However, Izuku, on the other hand, alongside that of Rias, with Rias is being completely and utterly shocked, fuming in hatred as her power of destruction basically is wafting off of her, with Izuku as actually completely dumbfounded, wondering, why? Father, why? With Sona saying, Izuku, I'm so sorry. The same goes for you, Rias. I know that you hate Riser, and I know that you don't want to see your sister within suit. Izuku saying, why Riser of all people? I would have been okay with she basically marrying somebody else. Riser is literally the worst choice out of everybody. With then, hearing that, Sona saying, okay, never mind now. With then, Sekira basically adjusting her glasses, but then saying, honestly, I kind of figured Izuku would say that. He's not actually against that of, arranged marriages. They're necessary for us devils, after all. But I believe he's against the fact that he's against that of Rias marrying Riser. The man has done nothing but basically insult him ever since he made his debut to Devil Society. It also didn't help that he always teased him for being clan traitless even though he's not. Within soon, Sona saying, I know. If anything, this has to be rough for both of them. Rias basically hating the guy that sees her as nothing but a trophy wife after all. And also, the man that basically has done nothing but bully Izuku just for merely existing. With then, soon, back at the Gremory estate, within, Rias slamming her hands down onto that of Zeaticus's, death, saying, Father, why? Why did you have to marry me to somebody like him? I don't even want to be in arranged marriage at all. Within, Zeaticus saying, Rias, you do know that this is important. This is this is for the future. Don't worry. I've put up a clause on that of the marriage after all. Here, read it yourself. With then soon, Rias basically reading the contract of the marriage, within saying, until I can become 20 years old, within saying, I hear that you plan on going to the human world, especially in Japan, to study once you become that at 15. Am I correct? Saying, yeah. How did you? Grafia saying, figures. So you must have told. I told Big Brother, and he must have told her, and she told you. Within, huffing, saying, yes. Are you against that? Within, Zeaticus saying, again, apparently, no. Actually, there's been a certain territory in that of Japan that the devils own. It's vacated for quite a bit of time now. It was under the control of the Belial, and during this time, if you plan on going to the human world, especially Japan, I know for sure, then you can be in charge of this territory. It would be under the name of the Gremory. If you wish to be the heir, you need to show qualifications of it. So, while you're in school, the marriage will be ready until you graduate from college, which will be when you're 20. How does that sound? But then saying, okay, I can work with that, but I also don't like the fact that I'm being forced into an arranged marriage at all. Father, shouldn't I have the right to choose the man I marry? Within, Vanellana entering in the room saying, Rias, this isn't a fairy tale ending and fairy tale romance. They don't exist as devils. Within, seeing her mother saying, Mother! With soon, Izuku was actually in the doorway, basically hides away. Seeing her twin brother, as not trying to stand up for her about this marriage. With then soon, she couldn't help but glare at her brother for a bit. But then Vanillana continued saying, "This marriage is very important, especially building that of the for the Gremory and for that of the Phoenixes as well. I understand that you and Izuku have problems with Riser, and it's understandable." With then soon, Rias saying problems doesn't circumstance isn't just is cutting it lightly. He teases and basically makes fun of Izuku on a daily. He doesn't even see me as a person. I see how he sees me. I see how almost half of the devils, but he sees me as nothing but a toy he wants to play with, and at least not in the way that I know of. With then soon, Zeaticus couldn't help but twitch his eyes for a bit. With then, Vanillana couldn't help but sigh, saying, "You should be expected. After all, we devils have that of once. We may be composed of the 7 deadly sins, but there's always that one sin that controls us the most. After all, your sin has always been pride." With then, soon, Rias couldn't help but also be honored of that. But then saying, "But that's also your worst aspect as well. Pride may be the most honorable sin, but it's also the most controlling of them as well. If you let your pride control all your actions and in everything you do, it will hold you. You'll be held back yourself. Within, you read the contract. If you don't want this wedding to go through, before the time of the wedding begins, there'll be a rating game. By that time, you'll also be in that of the rating games yourself and participate at least in a few others. So you'll have the experience, the peerage, and the abilities to basically go against Riser. And whatever happens, either you win or he wins. Everything will be settled. So, if you wish to get out of this marriage, I hope that you were willing to take your training seriously in the coming years, Rias." With then, soon, Rias couldn't help but say, "Don't worry, mother, I will. But I won't basically let this marriage hold me down as well. I will enjoy my life, and I will create a peerage so strong that bastard Rias and whatever peerages of sluts he creates won't even stand a chance against me. After all, my dream is not just to be heir of the Gremory family, but to also be a rating game champion as well. And just you watch." With that, Rias soon walks off. As then, soon noticing Izuku, as Izuku wanted to say something, however she huffs and basically walks away. As Akeno also walks with her. Within soon, Akeno couldn't help but give Izuku that of a consoling smile. Within soon, Izuku looking down, before Kuroka going to that of her master, before saying, "It will be okay. He's not too... Don't worry, girls like her need to cool off for at least a little bit. So you have nothing to worry about, Master Izuku." Within saying, "Yeah, I guess so. Thanks, Kuroka." With then soon, Zeaticus saying, "Izuku, please come in too. I figured you have something to say as well." Within saying, "Yes, father, but I wanted Rias to say her piece before I say anything." Within soon, Vanillana couldn't help but sigh, saying, "That girl, she's really something else. She doesn't take things on accountability." Within soon, Zeaticus saying, "I can tell you're against this as well," saying, "Well, yes, I am. I'm against the arranged marriage with mainly Riser." Within soon, both parents couldn't help but look shocked. Within Izuku saying, "I'm not against being an arranged marriage at all. I mean, I know their importance to that of the devil race. There's so little of us after all, of pure-blooded devils. I'm actually correct, but does it have to be pure? But I have to say, do we have to be pure-blooded devils? I mean, why not any other species of devils, or any of our reincarnated devils as well? isn't that the reason why we created the evil peace system alongside that of Lord Ajuka? With then hearing this from their son, as it seems like he's thought quite a bit about this, within Zodicus basically clearing his son in, saying, Izuku, clear-blooded devils are the ones that are the pinnacle of our society. We are the ones that lead it, that guide it, and we stick to tradition as well. We become who we are now because we are pure-blooded. I have nothing against that of half-breed devils. If anything, I support them basically becoming part of our society, but to be honest, they're not really, but they don't have the potential and the purity of being something more, being on what a pure-blooded devil is. One with that of limited potential, after all. Within hearing that, Izuku couldn't help but feeling like this feels narrow-minded. It doesn't really feel like it's actually what it's supposed to be. It doesn't feel like they're looking at the bigger picture. Within soon, Vanillin is saying, tell me, Izuku, what's this all about? Within Izuku saying, it's nothing. With soon, Izuku walks off saying, I'm just against the marriage between Riser and Rias. If it was anyone else, I would have been okay with it. Just, why did it have to be him? Can I answer that? With then, soon, Izuku walks away. Within, Vanillin saying, I had to say the same. Did it really have to be Riser? You see how he treats our own son. Within, Riser, Ziotic is saying, I was just hoping that the two boys would get along over time. I mean, just give it some time. Those two, if Riser becomes part of the family, they'll be basically see it under the bridge. They're just boys after all. People grow out of this. Within soon, Vanillina couldn't help but sigh, looking at the naive optimism of her husband. Within saying, "You're forgetting, darling. We are devils. We hold that of a long grudges after all, and we don't basically change that easily." Within, she soon walks out of her husband's study as well. With that, a year has now gone by as Izuku and Rias, alongside that of Sona, Seorg, and even that of Sikvara, gain their evil pieces, and they're now prepared to create their peerages. However, Sona already had that of a person offered to join her peerage, that of a girl from that was basically excommunicated from the 5 principal clans of the Shinto. Her name, Tsubaki Shinra, who's been taking shelter under the House of Citri. Just like that in canon, of course, Rias also takes up that of Akano and Chiron to be part of her peerage as well. However, Seorg and, Sikvara, both of them are basically putting their peerages on the side and waiting for the perfect opportunity to basically go search and find their peerage members. However, Seorg, on the other hand, has been training day in and day out, trying to grow himself to be stronger and stronger. After now losing the position of heir to the Beal, he's now become something more, as Izuku has noticed his cousin's growth and change. However, it's because of Seorg's growth and change that Izuku also is changed as well. He's wanting to see how his training regiment. Izuku decided to take on the same training regiment that Seorg taken on to become stronger too. Basically, working out his body day in and day out, learning that of martial arts such as boxing and kickboxing, alongside that of wrestling and judo. And not only that, it seems that Seorg found out about Tuki with that. However, Izuku doesn't want to use Tuki though. It's not that he doesn't think that he can't use it. It's just that he doesn't feel like he's ready to use it just yet. not until he figures out his own form of magic that he wants to pair with his clan trait. However, even so, he now, with his evil pieces, he can now basically make his promise. However, little did anybody know, besides that of Izuku though, Izuku's evil pieces are different because of Izuku's constant training and trying to improve himself, alongside that of his massive magic reserves. His evil pieces have turned into something more, as he has that of a mutated queen, one mutated bishop, one mutated rook, and two mutated pawns. Hell, actually, even if he wanted to, he doesn't even need that of the mutated pieces. His single gen pieces alone would be enough to reincarnate somebody pretty strong enough after all. And this is all because Izuku decided to train himself at the age of 6 to control his magic all by himself. However, finding out the fact that Kuroka took up 2 bishop pieces the first time that she was reincarnated into a devil, he decided to use his mutated bishop for Kuroka. Within soon, Izuku saying, "Are you ready, Kuroka?" Within saying, "I'll always be ready, Lord Izuku. This is what I've been waiting for after all." With then soon pushing that of the mutated bishop into that Kuroka's chest. With then feeling the pressure, saying, oh dear." With then saying, "Is everything okay, Kuroka? Did I do something wrong?" Saying, "No, it's just, it feels different from the evil piece the evil pieces I was given the first time I was turned into a reincarnated devil. This one feels better. It feels a lot more warmer than cold and suffocating like the other 2 were." Within hearing that, Kuroka saying, "I guess it just shows on how much of a better master I know you're going to be, my king Izuku." With then, Izuku couldn't help but blush as she says this saltily in Izuku's ear. Seeing that, Kuroka is now joined his peerage, as Naya couldn't help but smile. However, it almost seemed kinda sad, really. Within, Vanellana basically walking right beside her friend, saying, It's great to see how much he's grown, hasn't he, Maya?" Within, Naya couldn't help but nod, saying, "Yeah, Van, he's grown quite a bit. It's almost like seeing my own son grow so much. From a boy that basically people thought was clan traitless just because he didn't have his sister's power of destruction, to now becoming something so much more." Within, and not only that, he was even able to create that of an alliance between the devils and the Norse. And at the age of 11 back then, what kind of devil child could be able to do that? Within soon, Vanilla saying, "None. He's a one-of-a-kind boy, one I'm proud to be the mother of, to be honest." Within soon, Naya saying, "I'm so jealous of you, Van. To be honest, part of me kind of regrets being a devil. Not because of, not being able to be by your side, to be honest. You'll always be my best friend. It's just being a reincarnated devil in devil's fertility." Within, Namaya's Vanillana saying, "I know, Naya. I know. Not being able to have children of your own, especially worried that you'll never even be able to conceive one." Within, saying, "But just seeing Izuku, seeing how much he's done, how much I've watched over him, I'm happy. If this is what it's like to be a mother, being a mother, or possibly even a big sister on the side, then I'm happy. And I'm okay with that as well." With then soon Vanillana contemplating before reassuring herself, saying, I knew I was planning to do this for the right reasons. Within, Naya saying, "What is it, Van?" Within, Vanelana showing that of her showing that of her night piece. Within, Naya saying, "Van, I always thought that you were. I wanted you to join my peerage because I didn't want us to be separated. That you were my best friend during the Great War. All those times basically fighting, trying to survive, knowing that. But then when you basically saved me, nursed me back to health and basically allowed me to stay, even though you shouldn't have because I was a devil. You were there. To honestly, I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful for always being here by my side. It's because of that I never wanted you anywhere near my husband's harem when I basically created my peerage for him. But now I know the real reason why you were a reincarnated devil. To protect and look after him, after all. With looking at Izuku, with Naya doing the same, looking at Izuku and Kuroka, saying, continue to look after him and continue to protect him. Always be his guardian, my best friend. With that, soon walking over to Izuku. Within, soon, Izuku's seeing his mother saying, "Oh, mother, hi." Kuroka is now saying, "I saw." So, welcome to Izuku's peerage, Kuroka-chan. Within saying, "It is truly an honor, Lady Vanelana." Within, Vanelana smiling, saying, "Izuku, how would you like to trade?" Within saying, "Trade? What do you mean?" Saying, "One of your night pieces for Naya." Within, soon hearing that, Izuku saying, "Wait, Naya? You're giving Naya away? But she's your knight, and she's your best friend, and she's your guardian too. She's also cares deeply about you. And knowing on the crazy things that you're going to go through and do will put my heart at ease knowing she has your back. And besides, she's one of the best samurai back in the day after all, and still is. You've seen what she's capable of." Within, soon looking at Naya as he has seen her basically train. Besides just meditation, her swordsmanship, her style of fighting, it's basically monstrous for somebody of her size after all. And Izuku couldn't help but smile, saying, "I guess you're right, mother. And if you're willing to trade her to me, then I'll accept her with open arms, and I'll do my best to take care of her, while she takes care of me as well." Within, Vanelana couldn't help but hug Izuku, before then bringing Naya into the hug as well, saying, "Just look after each other. That's all I ask." With that, soon, all three of them accept the hug. Within a few days later, the trade soon basically passes through. As Izuku is basically training with that of Ajuka. Within, Ajuka saying, "So, you now have that of 2 members of your peerage, both a bishop and a knight. I'm surprised that you didn't bother using your queen piece on Kuroka," saying, "As much as I do, I believe her abilities as a bishop makes it better. She doesn't seem like she would be that of an all-rounder, since she mainly just uses magic after all." Within, soon, Ajuka saying, "That makes sense." With soon, Izuku saying, "Master, can you tell me, how are the mutated pieces like? How is it possible for somebody like me to have that of multiple mutated pieces? I thought you said that it's random." Saying, "It is. It's always been random. Mutated pieces only show up a few times. You can get, some devils get that of an entire chest set, an entire piece of, regular evil pieces, while some get that of 1 or 2 evil pieces. But you getting evil pieces of one at a time without, however, except your knights, it just shows on how much potential you have." Within saying, "Potential? There is even though I created the evil piece system, and that of the mutated pieces are normally a glitches in that system, I believe that there's a theory that I have. It depends on a person's potential and magical power. Within, he's saying potential? Yes, potential. For example, on how much capabilities that person will do and what kind of great things that they'll have. Did you know that Dihauser Belial, the multi-rating game champion, had that of 4 mutated pieces, 2 mutated knights, while having that of 1 mutated pawn and 1 mutated bishop. Within, hearing that saying, seriously? Yes. And not just him. The heir to that of the Phoenix family, the elder brother of Riser, Ruval Phoenix, has 3 mutated pieces. 1 queen, 1 and 2 pawns. Within, hearing this, Izuku saying, and it's because they have that of limitless potential. Both of them are rating game champions. You've seen their peerages. They're full of those who have that of ultimate potential, strongest beings in that of the supernatural, alongside that of Surzech's peerage as well. When I was creating them, Surzech's entire pieces were all normal, and that's because Surzech's power was limitless. The more powerful a person is, the more easier it is to basically reincarnate those who are considered to be stronger than them or have that of limitless potential, such as they're the same as their king. And seeing that, you have that of multiple mutated pieces. And your magic reserves, alongside your training, your abilities, it's because of that you have gained the evil, that you have that of multiple mutated pieces. Because of this, you should be honored, Izuku. Don't take it for granted, will you? Within, Izuku saying, I will not. I promise. Within, Izuku saying, good. Now then, I feel like you have something else you want to tell me besides the mutated pieces. Within, saying, it has to do with arranged marriages. And why not, and why don't devils care deeply about half-bloods? Within, hearing that, Izuku couldn't help but be completely and utterly shocked and surprised that Izuku would ask this. Within, soon thinking, this is something I did not expect. Within, speaking, saying, why do you ask? Saying, it's just that, pure-blooded devils are important to society. I get that, but if we're going basically instinct, why not basically reproduce with that of another species, like humans or yokai or maybe fallen angels? Species with that of higher fertility than us devils, after all. Not only that, they would have that of the mixed genes within them with that of other potentials, possibly even sacred gears if humans. So why not? Within, soon, Izuku saying, well, I can't say for everybody, but the most noticeable reason is because pride. Within, Izuku saying, pride, the ultimate sin for us devils, the most powerful sin, and the most controlling as well. Our pride won't allow it. Our pride won't allow us if we are not pure-blooded devils, if we don't have clan traits, if we don't have the things that make us devils. Half-bloods are basically considered abominations. They're not full devils, and they don't have what makes them devils at all. Even if they had the clan traits, and even if they had a sacred gear, they would still be seen as a second-class citizen. No different from that of a devil that's not even from the 72 pillars. Within, Izuku saying, but that's not fair. It's unjust. We say that we're the greatest race, but yet we're the race that's basically always dying out. God is able to create that of multiple angels. The fallen angels can basically reproduce with any species without, even though they're half-breeds, they're still fallen. We're the only ones that are struggling in our faction. And yet the reason that we won't be able to regrow our population is mainly due out of pride? It's ridiculous. Why? Why do we have to suffer because of that? Within, Izuku basically sighing before looking up at the roof of his lab before telling Izuku completely honest, saying, "Believe me, Izuku, I've asked the same questions to myself multiple times. It's just best just to leave things be as they are. Now then, I've done all I can. Once you turn 13, I'll be done training you. So, for one last aspect to help you control your clan traits, I'm giving you this." Within, soon going to that of his shelf before pulling out that of one thick ass book. Within, giving it to Izuku, as then Izuku saying, "Wait, these are," what soon flipping through the notes bit by bit before saying, "These are your notes for your Kankura formula magic." Within, Izuku couldn't help but give that of a kind-hearted smirk towards Izuku, saying, Your power of manifest is perfect for my personal magic craft. Learn from this. Figure it out your own style and turn it into your own brand of magic. You're able to create your own form of teleportation magic and create your own crest. In a way, you're basically already on your way to create your own pillar family outside of the Gremory. Basically a branch family if you feel like it. That hasn't been done in literal centuries since the creation of the 72 pillars of the Ars Gotia. So continue on this path, whatever path that leads you, Izuku. Within, Izuku saying, "I don't want to create my own family, or just create my own family. My goal has never been different. It's never changed. It's always been the same. And that is waiting in anticipation." Within, Izuku saying, "And it's always to help those in need, to protect people, like the heroes of old. All I've ever wanted was to be seen as a hero." Within, hearing that, Izuku could not be caught off guard before smiling to himself, and then internally saying, "But Izuku, you're already seen as a hero by many people, even by his Satans as well." But he didn't say it out loud for Izuku to hear, before saying, "I see. Well then, you have a long way to go, and I hope that you achieve it. Now then, you should be running off now. You're going to have quite a bit of studying to do." Within, Izuku saying, "I will. Thank you." Before using that of a spell circle to basically store it into a pocket dimension, as he soon heads back home. As then Izuku couldn't help but smile, saying, "I'm glad to have an apprentice like him." With then, now in the current timeline, outside, currently in that of the main hall of the Gremory family, of the Gremory Manor. Within, soon, Vanilla saying, "So you're really doing this, Izuku?" Saying, "Yes, I need to spread my wings. I don't want to be handed my peerage members. I want to go find them. I wanted to travel the world for at least possibly a good 2 or 3 years to find them. And in the process, I'm hoping that it might help people on the way." Within, Vanilla is saying, "Even so." With soon, Zayatic is saying, Now, dear, this is what Izuku decided for himself. Instead of going to the human world to study, like that of Rias, our son decided to follow his own path and find those he sees worthy of his peerage. If anything, it's a noble cause." Smiling at Izuku, saying, "I'm truly rooting for you, my boy." Within, Izuku saying, "Thank you, father." As then, seeing the time, saying, "I guess it's time. Namaya, Kuroka." Within, soon, they saying, "Yes, my lord." As having that of a spell circle beneath him, saying, "Tell Rias that I hope that I could see her again in the coming years or so. Hopefully sooner than that, to be honest. And I do wish her luck in gathering up her peerage to take down that bastard Riser." Within, soon, hearing that, Their, well, smile couldn't help but falter for a bit just hearing about the arranged marriage. Within, Izuku, Kuroka, and Namaya disappearing. With soon, Vanellana couldn't help but sigh, saying, I still can't believe it that you told me you prevented me from basically telling him. But then, Zeoticus couldn't help but scratch the back of his head, saying, I'm sorry, my dear, but it's necessary. He's going off to find his own peerage and make his own decisions. Something that I was hoping Rias would basically be doing by now, but within, Vanellana saying, I guess not. I guess this would be the only way for her to get a wake-up call. And yet, it had to come at the cost of us trying to take away our own son's future, even though he's basically making creating his own future for himself. As Vanellana says this, she soon walks away, and that's of a huff of pure annoyance and anger. Within, Zeoticus couldn't help but sigh as well, before saying, Good luck, Izuku. You're going to need it, my boy. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. And so, yeah, I hope you guys, this was the part where Izuku gets his first peerage members, being Kuroka and Namaya, which I hope that I did well setting it up, to be honest, for that of the past 2 chapters. Namaya was basically, well, was always going to be a member of Izuku's peerage, given her connection and attachment towards the young boy. And Kuroka, because of him saving her before things got bad, and before the Nekushell incident could even begin, or the Nekushell massacre could happen either, of course she would be absolutely loyal to Izuku. So yeah, also to allow Izuku to grow even stronger, I basically gave him Thor's gauntlets after all. They're not really used for that of power, but they will allow Izuku to lift things that are basically way heavier than him after all. And it's just good. It's also a good way of strength training for him. But he can use them in combat if he needs to, though. As for the Kankura formula, oh, just you watch. I wanted to find a way to basically make Izuku powerful. The Kankura formula is the first thing on that list. However, I'm having a hard time deciding on the last thing that will help him basically get the edge over Issei and over his stupid ass luck bullshit. Protagonist luck bullshit after all. So if you guys have something in the comments to help me and suggest something for Izuku to get basically an overwhelming power up that can surpass protagonist bullshit luck outside of plot, I would love to know. Should it be a sacred gear, a legendary sword, or basically a blessing? You guys decide. Also, if you guys are basically able to go through the video entirely, just letting you guys know, the next couple of chapters will mainly be that of Izuku running into that of his future peerage members, and them joining him as well. I won't lie, it's going to be hard a little bit to, well, make up stories on how they would join his peerage, to be honest. So it may take a while for them to come out in the coming months, or possibly in a year or so. So for that, I am sorry, but I want to do my best on creating that of reasons on why the people in Izuku's, well, peerage would actually join him outside of dying, basically on the verge of death, like how Rias gets her peerage members. So yeah. At any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to date my videos on uploading the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my main channel, my other channel, my Patreon, and my Cash App. All link in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Yamuki signing out. Later, guys, and I hope you all take care.